Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Jem and the Holograms? We're back, that's right. Episode 3 of Swatage. Can we talk about Jem, parentheses, and the Holograms? The podcast detailing the complete bonkers adventures of a girl and her band and her alter ego, 80s cartoon air quotes classic, Jem and the Holograms. I am the alter ego of this situation. My name is Joe.
Hey, you were really hauling ass there. I'm Kristen, the not alter ego, whatever that is, coming
ego.
to you. Oh, the ego, of
The
course.
normal ego.
Don't correct the id. The id. The id.
You could be the id.
I'll be the id.
I could be the ego.
Okay. I'm
So am I
coming to
the
you live from my old roommate Madeline's living room. Say hi, Madeline.
I'm Madeline. Hi.
I quoted you in the first episode of the podcast.
Oh, yay!
Yeah.
I don't know what I said.
Don't worry about it.
Something worthy of quotation, which is great.
Fun.
That's the important thing.
And yep, we're here. We're experiencing Jem and the Holograms through Shout Factory's Jem and the Holograms, a truly outrageous, complete series collection. And if you'd like to play along at home, feel free to watch the episode. Watch it before you listen to this. If you listen to this right now without seeing the episode, you're welcome to. But I mean, I'd much rather you actually, kind of take it in for yourself. And I'm sure that everyone else can agree.
This episode will be funnier if you know what we're talking about.
I would like to think so.
I can guarantee it.
Okay, well, we're putting a guarantee down. That's the seal of approval
Yep, got my
from
stamp.
Kristen of the Jem podcast, saying that this podcast will be funnier if you watch the episode beforehand. So you better bring your A game this time, Kristen.
Oh, put it on the box. Quote from Kristen. This podcast, ... is funny.
Hey, that's now you're quoting like a real person. So there you go.
4.5 stars.
4.5 stars. And speaking of 4.5 stars, that was a good transition to our last episode, Disaster. Last episode was a bit of a disaster, as was that transition. But I think we're gonna delve a little deeper than that, Kristen, because we're about to enter something. And Madeline, excuse me, Madeline, something a little. You're Kimber of the situation. I'm gonna forget you're here.
Oh, that's cool. That's fine.
We're not used to this other person.
And you
Usually it's just Jem and Jerica here.
Right, which
Yikes.
Jem talking to herself, that's just par for the course. So, Madeline as Kimber in the situation, you can start, acting out in the sense that in this episode, you can react and act, whatever, fucking act. Kimber's rebellion is what we're doing. There's going to be some acting.
She's just going to leave at some point. She's going to go, oh, this is a lot more time than I thought it would. Bye.
Oh, solo.
Right.
Some sunglasses. Flip
Let's-
over a table.
Don't spoil it, Madeline.
Spoiler alert, Kimber's rebellion, she's going to go solo.
Yeah, we're just getting straight into it now.
No, I'm just going to, I'm just
Well,
going
they've
to...
already watched the episode. We've determined that.
Exactly, right. We don't need to make useless, baseless predictions about, what might be happening because,
We don't need to
they've
pretend
already
we
watched
haven't
the
watched
episode.
this episode 3 times.
We put the quote on the box.
Yeah,
It's
funny.
It's funny.
Keep
But
going.
for the sake of conversation, why do you think Kimber's rebelling? And it's the fact that she wants to go solo, but why do you think she is going solo?
She thinks Paris is boring.
Hey, you know what? If I were her,
I
did she
co-sign
suggest to
that.
go to Paris? No, we'll talk about that
I
once
don't
it
even-
comes up in the
okay.
episode.
The 3-person dynamic. It's we're getting so excited.
It's coming to a head here, which is why we're going to have to start the episode, which, I'm going to do a little rebelling on my own. Everybody's going to rebel at some point in this podcast. Madeline's going to leave and go solo. I'm going to play the Transformers theme. Kristen, you got to think about what your rebellion is going to be. But let's all watch the episode right now together, unless you'd watched the episode already. Unless you've watched it already, which, you probably have because it's funny.
Watch
Jem-
the episode. It's
Jem-
funny. We're funny.
Jem and the Holograms, very funny episode number 3, Kimber's Rebellion.
Transformers, Popstars in disguise.
The Transformers, more than meets the eye. Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. The Transformers, robots in disguise. The Transformers, more than meets the eye. The Transformers.
Joe, can I tell you what my favorite part of this episode recap is?
What is your favorite part of the episode recap, Kristen?
It's the part where it says Zipper accidentally set Starlight House on fire, like he didn't run into Kimber like he's a football player going for a touchdown.
Like he's a linebacker, and a touchdown he got because he made everybody nervous with fire. Because
Goal!
everybody turned into cavemen and obviously got scared of fire and left, as they should have. And but that's all covered in the disaster episode. That's all old news. This is about Kimber's Rebellion. The title is Over the Boat That's About to Crash, because when we left our heroes, they were on the disaster boat, about to crash into a Navy freighter the size of, fucking Australia.
Yep.
And for some reason, nobody was there to steer the boat until the
Yeah.
Misfits went into the room to fuck it up.
The self-steering boat. Rich people.
Oh,
Google
wow.
boat. Google boat.
It's so the Countess's Google boat was malfunctioning, so she had to get some actual sailors in there.
Google sailors.
And yeah, they went hard to port or whatever, whichever side left is.
Stop pretending you know boat things.
I
It's
used to remember.
it's either port or starboard. I don't know.
Yeah, that's good.
I thought that meant front and back.
No, that's
Bow and
bow
stern.
and yeah.
I've been wrong my whole life.
Well, there you go.
Thank
So,
God I don't go in a lot of boats, because they would be a disaster boat.
Kristen, full speed ahead, and then you turn left, and you could just crash into the dock.
Or into a tanker.
Or into a tanker like this. But thankfully, they went hard to port or whatever, hard to port / starboard, and Jem nearly falls off the boat. And Rio, not even like holding on to anything else,
No,
just
he
kind
just
of
a wide stance. He's using his thighs.
That's all you need.
Yep.
Low
He-
center of gravity.
Uh-huh.
plants his feet like a man and keeps Jerrica on the boat, Jem, from falling off the boat.
Because she weighs 40 pounds.
Because she weighs 40 pounds, and especially there's no G-forces or anything, and then, pulls her back up on the boat like it's nothing, and then they kiss, because, Jem nearly died again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Rio has the correct response of, this is wrong. And then Jim
And-
goes, but Rio.
Jem is about to justify basically cheating on her boyfriend with herself, or whatever, and but then everybody else comes in and, ruins it, because the Countess is there, and they don't want to tell the Countess for God knows what reason.
We're not going to talk about that again. We don't understand why Erica can't be Jem. That's it. Now we're moving on.
Right, and speaking of moving on, so are the Misfits. They are leaving, and they make sure to let the Countess know that the hors d'oeuvres were great. Stormer makes sure to tell that, and she does a squeaky laugh.
Yep, I wrote down Stormer Squeaky Laugh is my favorite thing. It is the anti-Rio.
I'd have to agree with that.
Uh-huh.
And the Countess is a little miffed by this, as she should be, and she says, "Ooh, I can't wait to get back at those Misfits," like it's an insult.
Not their name.
Yeah, like it's she's calling them by their proper name, but she's using it as like
Oh, those misfits.
like she's really like it's gonna cut deep. Like Stormer hears that, and she's like, "I'm not a misfit."
She absolutely is.
I don't literally self-label as a misfit.
But yeah, then Jem decides that no, let's just beat them in the contest.
Yeah, and which I don't know if they realize, but if the Misfits go to jail, they can't win the contest.
Well, Joe, that wouldn't be fair. These are the good guys we're following.
There's no such thing as jail here.
Yeah.
No one goes to jail.
Never Joe.
Except Eric Raymond.
Yeah, well, he deserves it.
Well, I mean, he has attorneys or whatever, but we'll get to that when we cross that bridge. And all these rich people are standing around, and it's just like, oh yeah, hey, what'll really get back at them? What if we just make a music video? And Shayna's like, let's do it right now after we all nearly just died.
Yeah, Shane is ready to go. She was drinking something on that yacht party.
Anthony Julian gave it to her.
Yep, they're getting along very well.
Basically, yeah, it ends up being that, hey, let's, Jem's like, let's, slow it down a bit. Let's actually, how about we record some music before we make a music video?
Oh yeah, because the Countess is like, let's go to Paris.
And then, yeah, Jem has stars in her eyes when she's like, hey, let's go to Paris. It'll be great.
Kimber wants to go to Paris tomorrow.
So yeah, already she's rebelling against everyone by wanting the thing that everybody else wants except faster.
But nope, we have to finish our album
Right, and
before we go film a music video for our album.
which again, Jerrica, the musical mind, obviously, thinking for everybody here,
Businesswoman.
everybody's best interest.
With the shoulder pads in her soul.
So we cut back to Starlight House, and Ashley's like, "I got my $30."
Yeah,
and
that's exactly what she sounds
I'm sorry, that's just how I hear her, because she's got such terrible bitch tendencies that it's just
Yep.
it sounds like she's vomiting with every word.
It's true.
And yet, even I'm pretty sure I was defending her last episode, but it doesn't. I would defend her now because the rest of the orphans are like, "Hey, where'd you get the $30?" Like it's their fucking business. Who cares?
Yeah. And I have written down here, like, Ashley, you made the Misfits give you the money to get in. You're like, I need $30. She clearly is not above, like, just underhanded tactics. Just say you mowed a lawn.
In all fairness.
What's stopping her from lying? Honestly,
Well, I mean, $30 in the 90s was like,
That's like $500.
that was like $2,000.
Yeah.
You go to college with
She could
that.
have bought them a new house with that.
Especially if you're an orphan. You
Mhm.
get the orphan discount.
Roll in.
is that a general thing? Yeah, I'd like to take out a mortgage for a house. Oh, are you an orphan?
Yeah.
Yes.
$30, please.
Absolutely.
Here's a mansion.
Yeah. That's how Batman did it.
Is
Oh,
that confirmed?
Ashley's Batman.
Oh, God, no.
She has the stupid outfit.
Oh, God, no.
Well, the rest of the orphans are like, you know what? Keep your $30, Ashley, because we don't want dirty money.
Yeah, but she
And-
throws it on the ground and runs away.
Yes. To which, Ashley is rebelling. So,
Mhm.
in common
Ashley's
with the episode,
rebellion.
this is Ashley's rebellion, actually, and not Kimber's rebellion.
She rebels way more in this episode than Kimber does.
Shit, spoiler alert.
They already watched the episode.
I'm sorry, of course. So we cut to Gem and the Holograms. They're recording their music. Aja's holding her guitar so high up she looks like a goddamn beetle.
Yeah, I definitely took that note. Guitar is up in the armpits, which is ideal, I think.
Yeah, that's how I played.
I get the good sound.
Rio is suddenly the music producer.
Yeah, he's the guy who's like, let's give it one more time around. Yeah, whatever. And does he know? We learn later in the episode that he's Gem's manager,
Road manager.
road manager. Which
Which
he's
means
the
he
light
hooked
guy.
up the light.
So why would he give a shit what it sounds like?
I learned a lot about audio quality and mixing when you're lighting things.
Well, light and sound. I mean, it's basically
Same
the
thing.
same thing. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's wavelengths. Yeah.
I'm angry. Let's move on.
Yep, so we cut to the Misfits. They're practicing Making Mischief, which is the song we heard already. And there's percussion noises coming from somewhere, even though it's, I think Pizzazz has a guitar, Roxy has a bass, and Stormer has a guitar. Unless there's like a fucking drum machine just hanging out
Yeah,
somewhere.
no one is playing.
Yeah, no one's really playing either. They're just kind of moving
There's
around with
not.
the instruments. Are they filming a music video? Because they're doing a music video thing there.
I don't think so because they storm off. They storm out of the studio immediately after Eric says, "No, you're doing it wrong."
Right. Well, I'm just saying they're not really playing anything. They're just kind of moving around with instruments. So yeah, Roxy just wants to stop. Music's boring, and Pizzazz immediately brings up, "Hey, why aren't we going to Paris? How did she find out so quickly?"
She has spies everywhere.
Clearly, she has rich people sense, and she knows
Yep,
what
cameras.
the Countess is thinking.
Big brother, big pizzazz.
Big Pizzazz. Well, which is a common theme in the music videos, obviously.
Yeah.
Trying to tell us something.
Eric can't afford to send the Misfits to Paris, which thankfully they won't be fucking up Gem's music video shoot.
Because he, like in the most conspicuous way possible, admits to embezzling money from Starlight Music.
Which Pizzazz just kind of brushes off. She's just like, "Yeah, that's not an impressive crime. I could do that."
I have a bunch of money. I
Yeah, why
pick it
doesn't
up
she-
off the ground.
Why doesn't she
Out
just
of
ask her
people's
dad?
pockets.
I wouldn't put it past
Because
her.
she's a famous rock star.
That's true. Yeah, she doesn't need to. But Eric does have enough money to send Zipper, who's going to make people nervous over in the old UK, over in the old France, I guess, because Paris is in France.
Yeah, come on, get it together.
I don't know. For some reason I thought Zipper had a Union Jack in the back of his jacket, but it's just a zipper.
Of course.
They're almost the same thing.
As it's the UK's just like unzippered from the rest of Europe. So I brought that together.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah.
I covered up for myself really well.
Joe, I told everyone this podcast was funny.
I'm trying my best.
Now you're making me look bad.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Eric basically he gives Zipper basically carte blanche to murder Gem and the Holograms because he just wants him to mess up Gem's music video shoot by any means necessary. Whatever it takes is, I believe, the exact words that he uses.
Yep.
And yep, we're in Paris now. They're doing the music video. Anthony Julian hums along to the background music, which is nice.
And he goes and he gives Gem direction that then she does not replicate in the actual music video.
That is correct. Yeah, so basically that was all for nothing, and that made Kimber angry because I guess the rest of the holograms are just kind of standing off to the side, and Kimber's about to go walk off set. I guess she didn't specify
Yeah.
where she was going or anything.
Paris.
Well, they're in Paris.
She's hanging out in Paris.
Yeah, they're in Paris, and Kimber's going, "Excuse me, I'll be back. I need to go to Paris real quick."
Yeah.
And yeah, it's Zipper's kind of standing in an alley, and he's just watching Kimber walk over closer, and it looks like he's gonna kidnap her, I guess.
Yeah, like it's a little bit creepy
Yeah, he's just kind of like, "Yeah, come on, right into my arms." But Rio grabs her arms instead.
because Rio starts to run after her, and grabs her arm, which Rio does a lot, and it makes me angry that he like forcibly grabs people on a frequent basis. No personal boundaries, this man.
It's kind of awkward because he could just kind of, he could put his hand on her shoulder and be like, hey, no, don't be like that. But no, he's like, hey, you're being a real brat.
Yeah, and like she starts to like, don't go all big brother on me, Rio. It's like he's not being nice.
Also, it implies that has happened before. That like this is Rio's way of showing brotherly affection is by grabbing someone's arm and calling them a brat.
Yeah, that sounds in line with the sort of thing Rio would do.
Yeah, and then Kimber's response is to nearly out Jerrica as Jem, which the rest of the holograms stop and call it Jerrica's decision, which is, I mean, correct, but
knowing that it doesn't happen in 3 seasons of this cartoon makes that it being Jerrica's responsibility a little bit harder to grapple with.
Especially when there are so many episodes where she's just trying to deal with all of that.
Mm-hmm. She's not doing herself any favors, or her relationship with Rio, which I don't know why you would want to salvage that, but Twilight in Paris.
Yes, Twilight in Paris. That is our first song, which we will play for you right now. Enjoy, I guess, because I know I will. So Twilight in Paris, pretty good song, I'd say.
It's a good example of a light version of the in a place doing a thing model of Jem songs.
Yeah.
Well,
it name drops the Eiffel Tower a couple times. So
Yeah.
That's how you know
As a part of the
it
chorus.
is definitely in Paris.
Uh-huh.
Liberally. That is
Here's
the
the
first.
thing in Paris.
That is the first note I have. This is a song about Paris. You have to mention the Eiffel Tower.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
They only film at the Eiffel Tower.
One of my notes is I don't like this.
Do you have any idea what that is in reference to?
I just put I don't like this, and then the song is good though.
Very good. I have that it reminds me of that episode of Rocko's Modern Life with the tour bus, if that makes any sense at all.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't remember that one.
That was a good one.
I have a note that there is a moment where Rio's reflection appears in some sort of reflecting pool, and it looks like Bet on It from High School Musical 2.
That's fair.
Rio is an inferior Troy Bolton.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Super inferior.
Incredibly inferior.
I
Troy
wouldn't know.
Bolton.
I can't say.
A plus. Just trust us.
I will agree with you there for the sake of agreement. So we're all in agreement that Rio's. I'd put Rio as an inferior anything basically. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also have a note that they are watching French people make out, and they should stop.
Are they? I don't remember that.
Yeah, there's a French couple kissing, and they are like in the alley watching them.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Okay.
voyeurism.
What is Anthony Julian doing in this music video?
He usually works with hardcore bands.
Oh, so that's
His
why there's
style is hard to adjust to the pop flavors of Jem and the Holograms.
so that's why there's kissing. Obviously
Yeah.
very risque.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's not much really happens to
French
visualize.
kissing.
Oh, whoa!
That's why
Oh
Twitter
my
handle is Funny
God.
Girl.
I think once again you cracked the code.
Funny podcast.
So yeah, I just not much exciting happens in this video. It's just basically Jem's in a trench coat, kind of walking around.
Rio is
Find-
leading man.
Do I need to correct myself every time I mix up Jem and Jerrica?
I don't think you need to. People will understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, they watched
Wait. Are they? They're not the same person, right?
Oh,
I don't like. It's never. She never said anything, so I just assumed.
it's not clear, I guess.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
We'll revisit this, Madeline.
Rebel.
Madeline needs to go lay down after this podcast. I'll take care of her, don't worry.
That's my rebellion.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, it's just it's a normal music video. This one we could definitely say happened in reality because we watched them recording it,
Yes.
which includes that Rio, the light guy, acted as a male model for this music video, I guess.
I'm angry about it, but I acknowledge it happened.
Yes, it did. It did indeed happen. And back to reality, it ends with all of them kind of in a formation in front of a building that has gargoyles on it that Zipper is on top of, and he decides, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop a gargoyle
Make
on him
these gargoyles nervous.
Intimidate him.
Yep.
via crowbar.
That would make me nervous.
Well, I think a crowbar would make anyone nervous, and yeah, the gargoyle got so nervous that it unhinged itself from the stone and fell from the building, and that's the end of segment 1, is a gargoyle plummeting down, presumably about to hit Gem and the Holograms.
But thank God Rio is there.
Rio, yep, is just like, ah, get out! And even then, the gargoyle hits an angel statue on the way down, and
It's symbolism. It's symbolism. Clearly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Gem and the Holograms is a
I
really
have some
deep
notes
show.
here. Yeah, I want to talk about something for this deep-ass sequence of events.
Please.
And I'm beginning to suspect that these frequent near-death experiences at the beginning of the series are with what they're what fuck with Jerica's sense of self so much. I said if I were a therapist, I would be like, tell me about what happened in Paris, Jerica. Did it hurt that Rio thought he was saving Gem and not you? Do you see where I'm coming from?
That would imply that she's telling her therapist that she's Gem, though.
I said if I were a therapist.
If you were, well, that's implying that you know. Then
Yes, it's a cartoon and I'm watching it.
I have cartoon character Jerica Benton on my couch, and I'm going to ask her.
It's
Why-
Toontown. It's fine. It's fine.
Who framed Roger Rabbit?
No, exactly. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's Toontown.
You got on my case for nitpicking you, and
You're
now
right.
you're doing it right back at me.
You're right. And that's just what I do. That's just how I roll.
That was a funny statement I just said.
And speaking of whatever we were talking about, to transition awkwardly again,
Yay.
Zipper's staring down from the building like a fucking goober after trying to kill everyone, which makes Aja notice him almost immediately and be like, well, what the fuck's going on up there? And then Zipper displays his awesome parkour skills by jumping between buildings in Paris.
Yeah, so they weren't gonna catch him. Fast Zipper.
Yeah.
Got his zipper
Zippin'.
fast.
Zip that.
Zip, 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 zap.
Zip zap, he's already gone.
That's
Yes.
his catchphrase.
As he jumps across a building, he goes zip zap.
I don't want to think about that.
No, yeah. Let's just move on to the next scene, which is Ashley approaching a bar, which we're returning to
No,
Ashley.
Jojo.
They're going to the bronze.
No,
They're going to the bronze.
Well, she's not old enough to go to an actual bar, so.
Neither was anybody else.
She's going to a place called Club.
Oh, excuse me. You're right. It is Club.
Yeah.
With the guy who
Club.
looks like a Bobo from Double Dragon as the bouncer, and
Yep.
who Ashley's like, hey, can I come in? I'm a friend of the Misfits, and he has the total sick burn response of, oh yeah, I'm Duran Duran.
All of them.
All the Durans.
All the Durans. Every Duran.
He is every Duran.
Of the Duran clan.
Ashley's being way more rebellious than Kimber, and I believe the Misfits take note because they appear immediately
They hear
from.
her screaming.
They hear her screeching. Yeah, it's Pizzazz appears and it's like, hey, who's a friend of us? Like she's legitimately interested for some
I don't have
reason.
any friends.
Who the hell made the bold claim that they're my friend? And they assume that Ashley got thrown out basically, and they're surprisingly cool. Like, yeah, come on, be a misfit.
Stormer does do the nice thing where she's like, oh, are you lost? Like, do you need help?
Yeah, like, are you in trouble?
Stormer cares about children, and Roxy and Pizzazz do not care.
No. Well, they don't care about much at all.
They call Jerica a creep.
Which, honestly,
I like that.
it's not a stretch to call Jerica a creep.
No. She big lying creep, lies to her boyfriend.
It's all on brand, though.
It is. That's true. It's consistent.
It is. Agreed.
We like finding instances of consistency.
Yeah.
Gem and the holograms.
Yeah. The through line, it's
Yeah.
really...
It helps.
And basically, yep, she's Ashley's a misfit now, pretty much. And Pizzazz gives her the misfit credo of a misfit never asks for anything, a misfit takes, to which she then sweeps a chair out from under a dude and threatens to punch him, and the dude runs away.
Is this before or after they all take those cups of milk?
Yeah.
Oh, they do take the cups of milk from the club as well.
Milk
Yeah.
shots.
Yep, milk
Correct.
shots.
And I have the note here that the man that she nearly punches is Player 2 $6 Million Man in his blue tracksuit.
Just coming hard with these references.
I am. Yeah, I'm really Rocko's Modern Life, Double Dragon, $6 Million Man. I'm killing it.
We're doing great. Mhm. I don't know what transition I am seeing here, but there is the first instance in this episode of someone saying holograms.
Yeah, Kimber, I believe it's when they're coming back in at the airport from Paris, and the Countess is like, "Oh, I can't wait to show you my gem clothing line," and Kimber's like, gem and the holograms."
That is
Oh my god.
that's a weird thing that only happens in this episode, as far as we're aware.
Yeah, it's just a lot of people say holograms instead of holograms.
They
But
definitely got that voice direction.
yeah, whoever was the
Anyway,
person there,
Rio's acting like a big brat.
Rio's a big brat. I just have the note here. Jerrica didn't go to Paris with them. How did they Did they tell the kids at Starlight House that Jerrica was going to Paris?
There's an old lady that disappears that takes care of the foster girls.
That's right.
I think at this point we're supposed to assume she's still there.
I guess. But it's just it's one of those things where what's to stop one of the orphans from being like, "Oh, how did you and Jerrica like Paris?" And then Rio going, "Jerrica didn't go to Paris." And then the orphan going, "What
That
do you mean?"
implies that Rio ever holds conversations with the foster girls and is interested in their lives.
Despite how close that they are, being that Rio's boyfriend of Jerrica, I don't think Rio and the orphans interact a terrible amount, do they?
Not at all.
Well, you shouldn't say not at all, because I remember you were telling me about the train episode with Ashley.
Not often at all.
Thank you for the clarification.
It's revision. You're welcome.
They see Misfits posters everywhere, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe the Misfits did this. Like, they fucking blew up some shit or something," but it's just that they have better PR than Gem and the Holograms.
Yeah. They were probably, it shows them putting up posters in the music video coming up, too. The Misfits they probably put up all those posters, or at least Pizzazz made Roxy and Stormer do it.
Or, Eric Raymond had somebody else do it for them.
Fat stacks of cash.
Yeah, fat stacks. Eric Raymond gave the posters to the Misfits, Pizzazz gave the posters to Roxy gave the posters to Stormer. Much like in Disaster.
Like usual.
Right.
And then Stormer turned around, saw no one behind her.
And she cried a little
Yeah.
bit.
There was a little jaunty music sting.
She wrote a song about it.
To which, getting down to business happens, and they work to destroy all of Stormer's hard work and getting down to business.
Yeah, I completely forgot about this song.
I remember it because it was in the Daytona 500 episode, I'm pretty sure. And I remember
How is
disliking
that?
it there. Or excuse me, the Indy 500. It's not the Daytona 500. But yeah, it's just, I remember not liking the song. And I'm correct, because it's not bad, but it's too upbeat for my tastes, maybe? I don't know.
It's weird. Also, there's instances. I'm a rhyme snob occasionally, so there's that whole thing with they're all saying we don't have a chance. We can't let them write us off in advance.
That's not too bad. That's not a bad
That's
rhyme.
a bad rhyme. Yes, it is.
It's an okay rhyme.
It's pretty awkward sounding. I'm
it's
a
true.
rhyme snob.
I'm more stuck on how the whole video kind of reads as a high school student class president sort of campaign.
Prom queen.
Yeah.
Homecoming
It's
queen.
all very-
Class
I-
president.
It turns into Mean Girls for a second.
It really
Just
does,
We're gonna
yeah.
slap some posters up and tear yours down and
They're all acting like children. Surprise.
yeah. Would've
It
thunk
all it all seems very sort of hey, look at our homegrown people doing our own PR. Let's get the orphans to do PR for us.
Yeah.
But the orphan wallpaper glue is clearly inferior because those posters don't stay up very long.
Mhm.
No, it just kind of blows away.
Cannot match the heat of Pizzazz's rage that she's cultivating inside of her.
Which is the natural adhesive, I guess.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it has multiple uses.
Yeah, Bonnie
Keep your
is
hair
drawn.
Yep.
Bonnie is drawn like a teenager here, when I'm pretty sure she's 8.
She looks like 16, and she's
Ooh.
doing weird hip hop poses.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird.
Don't do that to our little Bonnie, our blind angel.
Who's not blind yet?
He's not blind yet.
Give it time.
Shayna looks like she
happens
has
to all of
fire
us.
ants all over her body in her drum animation.
I don't know what you're talking about at all, and it sounds scary.
It's in the the little portion where Jem throws out the fucking cut up T-shirt and Shayna's in the background looking like she's gonna die, basically playing the drums.
And everyone's ignoring her like usual.
Pizzazz cut up a shirt, the cut up the aforementioned cut up shirt. What a scoundrel
Yep.
she is. All right, so
Uh-huh.
here's the part where the music video becomes not in reality. Is Jem is flying an airplane, and
So
can
we
do
can say definitively, this
That
is
did-
not a music
that did
video.
not
This
happen.
is a dream sequence.
right, and she skywrote Jem without even doing loops or anything. She just kind of went through the sky and it became Jem.
That's how skywriting works.
And then three planes presumably driven by the Misfits came by and wrote the Misfits in skywriting, which invalidated Jem's skywriting, which is that, I guess that's how it works.
No. I don't know anything about skywriting or planes or driving planes. I can say pretty definitively that's a thing that's happening in a cartoon.
You know, one day when I was at the Magic Kingdom, there was somebody skywriting above it. It said, "You plus Jesus equals happy face."
Oh, well, that's a nice sentiment.
How they do the happy face? Did they do it like sideways, like
Not like
parentheses
just like
style,
a just a smiley face with like a circle around it.
Huh.
It was
That's nice.
I think they were in the middle of smiley face or something when I was there. I just remember looking at like it's not a story for the podcast. I worked at Disney for a bit and I was there and it was, you know, whatever. But yeah, that's skywriting and you know, the gem logo on the Rockin' Roadster was backwards, which, you know, par for the course.
Yep.
Speaking of animation, we skipped over it. I just want to go back to it real quick. When the bands were practicing, Aja's guitar hand changed in two of the shots. Like she was playing normal and then she was playing left-handed, which, you know, that's, again, par for the course.
Uh-huh. We feel like we need to point it out, even though everyone else probably notices too.
I think that one's particularly egregious.
Yeah. Yeah, no one will notice. We did.
I know.
2016.
Kimber's playing on a gigantic keyboard, and the music video ends with Kimber seeing Roxy tear down a gem poster, and there's a close-up on her eyes, like it's Rear Window, and she just witnessed a murder. Like her eyes are all like, I'm making like a hand motion, which obviously you can't see over the internet. But yeah, it's like
playing for radio.
It's like she witnessed a murder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she looks like really upset.
And she's
like
so
it's
upset.
not a nice thing, but
She's so upset that she storms right into Eric's office, right in there, and she's like, "Hey!"
She yells at him about rigging the contest by marketing themselves. That's not rigging. That's not how rigging works.
No, and I mean, I guess, you know, well, Eric Raymond's an embezzler, so maybe she thought it was illegal to be like, "Hey, you can't hype this contest without equal billing or something."
Maybe she just assumed that he was rigging, even though she didn't have any like concrete evidence from getting down to business. And she was like, maybe if I just tell
She's
Eric.
bluffing.
Yeah, she's like, you're rigging it. And
he'd be like, "Oh, you got me."
yeah.
Oh, I was rigging it the whole
oh
time.
yeah, true. Detective Kimber solves another case.
That's not actually a bad strategy then. But yeah, Eric takes this opportunity to, instead of be like, "Oh no, I did it," is just like, "Well, you know what?"
He
It's,
touches Kimber.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he
hitting on
does.
her.
Yeah, kinda. Which, you know, I think-
It's a little definitely not fraternal.
No. Yeah, it's super creepy.
Yeah.
yeah, sweet. I believe he said "sweet and beautiful" or something like that to describe her. Which,
Don't do that. Also,
not today.
she's definitely not sweet. By cartoon standards,
She
maybe
is-
she's beautiful. I don't know. I'm not a cartoon person.
100% sour.
Yeah.
But, this
no,
is
I
where-
think what you're the word you think of is salty.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, she's also salty because this is obviously her rebellion,
Salty and sour is a terrible food combination.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I don't want that.
Yuck.
and that describes
I don't want to
Kimber
talk about this anymore.
particularly well. But yeah, we learn Kimber writes the songs. Finally, we might get some rebelling, I guess.
He tempts her with the idea of being managed on her own.
Right, which if I were Kimber, I might rebel at that point, even though I know Eric's a terrible person and he just hit on me in a really creepy way.
Well, maybe you were not as wise as Kimber.
Well, I never claimed to be.
So, can I tell you what I really like in the next scene?
What do you really like in the next scene? And can I guess?
Sure.
It's what Lindsay Pierce is wearing.
Well, no, I hate that. What I love about the next scene is it's them hanging out in Starlight Mansion again, soon to be Starlight Mansion. Jerica answers the phone. After she's like, "It's Jerica," and it's Lindsay Pierce being like, "Oh, I got a spot on my show because television works one day at a time. There's no planning involved." There's Jem there, and Jerica goes, "Oh, I'll get her. This is Jem."
Wait. Are you saying Jem and Jericho are the same person?
I'm starting to think so. I feel like there's
It's
some.
starting to add up.
It's subtle,
okay.
but I think there's like some things pointing to perhaps that they might be the same person. And I feel like
Huh.
yeah, the proper way for the scene to come out is this is Jem. No, this is Jerica.
This is still Jericho. You didn't even phone down.
Yeah, your voice is exactly the same.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Lindsay's not like, "Are you fucking with me here? I want to talk to Jem."
Yeah, like come on. But yeah, that's my favorite part.
Maybe she's going along with it because I do have as one of my notes here, Lindsay's voice sounds so disingenuous. Fucking TV hacks.
Yeah, she sounds like she's like fast talking them already. When it kind of turns out she is, because they're like, "Oh, I'll get everyone over there," and she's like, "Nope, just Jem."
And for some reason, Jem's just like, "Yeah, great, I'll be there."
Yeah,
and
She doesn't
everybody's
find it that hard at first.
everybody's celebrating, and it's great. And then that's when Jem's like, "Oh wait, no, holograms, you stay here. It's just Jem today." To which that
Holograms.
holograms, you stay here. That puts Kimber into rebellion mode, because that is when she says the immortal words that end the segment. Well, she's not. They aren't the words that end the segment, but it's very close. Of Kimber Benton is going solo.
Yeah, you actually missed my favorite thing that Kimber says here, which is she points at Jerica and shouts, "You know what?"
And Jerica's response of no.
It was a slow head shake.
Yeah, she's not threatened at all by Kimber. She's used to this kind of behavior, I would assume.
Not only is Kimber Benton going solo, but she stole the Rockin' Roadster.
Yeah, she steals the car.
To which now I believe everybody has driven except Shayna,
Yeah.
if you want to count that.
When they drive more, we will keep a better tab.
Keep a
because
tally of
we
who's
keep,
driving.
We keep insisting that it's usually Aja.
Right,
But
and
there's been not a lot of actual evidence of that so
well,
far.
it usually is Aja, just except for that one time that Jem was driving, and now
And
this
the
one
time
time.
when Kimber's driving.
Well, Kimber's driving alone. It doesn't count
Okay, fine.
because Aja's driving in the next scene, right?
I don't know.
Well, Kristen, you watched
I
the
don't-
episode.
A week ago?
No. Well, yeah, it was a week
It
ago.
was a week ago.
Well, whatever. It's the end of segment 2 there. Nobody's dying, but there is genuine intrigue happening, which is, good, I guess. It's a welcome
Mhm.
change to everybody's about to die.
Jerica immediately is just like, I'm gonna try Lindsay again, and just asks again, like, it has to be everyone. Is that okay? And Lindsay goes, yeah, sure.
She
Like,
gives
and a
in,
voice
like...
very similar to that, too.
Yeah, no, she's just kind of like, yeah, that's fine. Just make sure everybody's here by 4. And, if it were that easy, Lindsay, we could have avoided this entire goddamn problem.
Jerica could have asked twice.
Yeah.
Was it Jem or Jerica?
No, she was Jerica. She was
Okay.
pretending to be Jem.
Oh, right.
But with
'Cause
her
they're different,
voice.
They're different people. So it's just, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Isn't it
You're
lucky that nobody
mixed up.
else was in the room? Other than the holograms?
Yeah. Jerica,
Holograms.
Jerica, why were you
Holograms.
pretending to be Jem on the phone?
Oh, go back to your room, Bonnie. You didn't see anything.
No, 'cause he's blind.
Oh, God.
But yeah, so now they need to find Kimber, and they decide that, well, Kimber's probably listening to her favorite radio station, KMAX, which
Continuity.
Kristen and I believe is the same from KGEM, we think. I'm pretty sure. Which is
I'm
a
pretty
college,
sure it's the same radio station.
which is a college radio station in that one, which I guess would also be consistent because
Kimber
I don't
is probably college age.
know. Yeah, I believe. Well, yeah, because she said she went to high school. We'll talk about that in the KGEM episode a million years from now. But
Yep.
yeah, Shayna pronounces holograms, and so does Jem.
Mhm.
And Kimber's rebellion is over.
Yeah, they get on the radio, they shout out to Kimber in a weird coordinated speech that they had prepared on the way over, I guess.
Yeah, like Shayna says 2 words, and then Aja says 2 words, like that are part of the same sentence. Like, without you, blank, there is no holograms.
Holograms.
It's just proof of their bond. They're so close.
Yep. Sister.
Finishing each
amazing.
other's sandwiches.
Yeah.
And Rio has a red van, which, did he always have the red van? Because I don't remember.
I think Rio does have
Is it-
the red van usually.
So then who had the blue van?
Rio.
He has multiple vans.
Yeah,
Well, okay,
van
he
guy.
is the light guy. That makes
Oh,
sense.
God,
All
that's
right.
his third title. Oh, these vans.
Light guy, road manager, multiple vans.
Van man.
Van man.
Name of the
Van,
van.
Yep.
Van man Rio Pacheco.
Van man with plan. I'm gonna stop.
All right, so Jerica and Jem have their very important conversation of, I can't be Jem's road manager anymore.
Now you're getting confused. You said Jerica and Jem.
Whatever. Jerica and Rio.
They were probably also having a conversation.
Yeah, in her head while she was having this conversation with Rio. Both of them simultaneously. 3-way conversation.
She was
Like three-way phone
receiving the conversation as Jerica and Jem, and was speaking as Jerica and Jem, so it didn't come out correctly. She wanted to say 2 different things, but she ended up. Oh my god, I don't even want to think about it.
She's just gonna keel over someday.
She's gonna, a vein is gonna pop in her neck and she's just gonna bleed out.
Her neck is gonna snap itself, and she's just gonna fall over.
And then the ghost Gem is gonna come out and it's gonna be Olivia Newton-John. Let's be physical.
Oh my god, it was synergy all
Yeah,
along.
Rio was trying to have a serious conversation with her, saying in not so many words, I am attracted to Gem because I love you. I don't feel comfortable managing her anymore.
And Jerica misses all
And
of
Jerica
that
goes,
completely.
"Fuck that." Yeah. Doesn't bother explaining anything. She's no, stay.
And
He's trying to do one good thing.
Yeah, he gives up after this.
Well, yeah.
once again, they're cut off by, like, they need to be at a place by 4, so, Jerica can't stop the car and be like, no, Rio, I'll explain everything right now when we're in front of Lindsay's building. It's, no, we gotta go to Lindsay's show. Let's go. Come on.
Mhm. And that's about when they get there and they run into the elevator so that assume Jerica can change into Jem, and the doors close. And the way that I interpreted it watching it is I was like, oh, so when they open, she's going to Jerica. Or Jem, and she was still Jerica. And then she turned into Jem in full view of everyone of the near the open elevator.
So
I'm
what
sorry,
was the point?
That
There
happened
was
at
fun.
the
Huh.
radio station, actually. But yeah, just
Oh, it
I-
did?
yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was gonna come back to that, but I'm glad you did. So, yeah, Jerica.
Yeah, okay.
It's
I got
just
that messed
like-
up.
Why do they think that they're gonna let you perform on the radio, Jerica? And it's like, oh, well, they might not for Jerica, but they would for Jem. And she says that as the elevator doors are closing.
Who is not famous yet.
And then they open back
And
up,
she's still Jerica.
and she's still Jerica,
Uh-huh.
turning into Jem.
She has no sense of timing.
No, not at all.
Thank
But
God
amazing.
there was nobody out in the hallway outside the elevator.
So, my final note before they go into the last song of this episode is please keep cheating on me with myself, Rio.
I have the wonderful note of Lindsay's chair is really low to the ground because they couldn't model correctly.
Yep, no sense of scale.
My last note is a very grotesque drawing of what Jerica was wearing at one point in the show, where she kind of had hair spikes.
I can post that in the show notes.
Yeah, please do, because
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
It's a really good drawing.
I wrote "yikes" almost as big as I drew the picture.
Yeah,
Which-
she looks pretty heinous. We can't remember exactly what part it's from, but it's accurate.
It's there. It's
Mhm.
there and it exists. And yeah, that's when we go into song 3. I Got My Eye on You, which is a good song. I'm gonna go. I mean, like, it's good. That's all I can really say
Yeah.
about it.
At some point when this show is happening, you go back to a scene that we revisit quite a lot over the series, where the Misfits are laying around watching TV on beanbags, and that's how they happen to see what Jem is up to.
Yeah, then they go, hey, Misfits into action, let's go.
Yeah, they mobilize pretty quickly.
And I believe that at some point during the music video or before the music video, they leave. They leave and somebody else is driving, and then Pizzazz is driving during
I
the
think
music video.
Roxy and Pizzazz switch around, I think.
They play that
'Cause-
game where they all get out of the car.
That's what
and
I
they
said,
light.
yeah,
yeah.
Chinese fire drill.
That's
Uh-huh.
fun.
But yeah, it's they're there playing a song. I thought this was supposed to be an interview, and basically the lyrics are, Jem is stalking Rio.
Yep. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
I took the note that they need to stop booping Rio's nose. I don't
Yeah.
remember when that happened, but that was disturbing.
I did not like the nose booping either.
And everybody's actually watching Jem in this video, contrary to the lyrics, because, the Misfits see it on TV, they're hearing it on the radio, it's playing on all these goddamn monitors, it's playing at a drive-in for some reason, which I don't think that's how drive-ins work,
And Rio has a signed headshot of Jerica.
at the very end.
Yeah, I think it's shown in 2 different shots, and then he lets go of it at the end.
Oh yeah, we didn't even
Symbolism.
talk about the part where Jem crashes through a billboard on 2 separate occasions
Yep,
within the
twice.
music video.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's it. What a general song is the one note. And then, oh no, it started as, okay, so I have in my notes to solve the Misfits driving conspiracy. Pizzazz is driving in the middle of the song to turn up the radio, and then when they arrive, Stormer is driving.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they all got out of the car and at a red light.
Did anybody tell Jerica they actually ran away?
No. They don't care.
Nah.
Because, yeah, she's
So,
still
yeah.
hanging out with the Misfits.
Yeah, Ashley is in the car too. They are taking a quote out of Jerica's book and employing some orphan labor.
The orphan labor in this case being to kick a guard in the shin to distract him.
Yeah, she kicked a cop. I'm like, that's not.
Well, he's not a cop. He's a security guard.
Yeah.
Low tier.
She can pay him off with
Yeah,
up for $30.
She has $30. You can pay bail with that for child jail.
Yeah.
Baby jail.
Yeah. Baby orphan jail.
Baby orphan jail. Yeah, no, it's like the mortgage. It's just, hey, you're going to jail. I'm an orphan. Well, we'll see ya.
Free pass, orphan pass. But yeah, she lets the Misfits up into Lindsay's show.
Yep, and even Lindsay says holograms, so everybody's saying it this episode.
It's contagious.
Every instance of someone saying holograms this episode was them pronouncing it as holograms.
Yeah, I'm glad it doesn't stick.
Yeah, it's the Jerica is asked. Excuse me, Jem is asked the bulletproof question of where did you come up with the name Jem and the holograms, which Jem takes like a million years to respond to, which gives the Misfits enough time to butt in, knock Kimber off the couch, and be like, "It's a stupid name anyway. Now a name like Misfits."
That means something.
And I don't have written down what Jem's comeback is.
Jem
But-
informs them that it means like they're rude, something. They're I wish I could remember. Definitely rude, obnoxious,
and loud.
and loud.
To which we have my favorite line of the entire series so far, a close-up of Pizzazz's face where she screams, "I am not loud."
I am not loud. She is obnoxious and rude though. That she rolls with that.
And yeah, the bands are going to fight because I guess this is just what Lindsay invited. It's just she didn't bother cutting or anything. It's just the Misfits are here and the bands are going to fight, but now it's time to go to commercial.
Yeah, and then she makes her crew escort the Misfits out.
The security guy has a kicked shin, so yeah, it's up to Rio, the camera guy, and the dude holding the boom mic to escort the Misfits out of there.
Which and Rio, of course, as he usually does, manhandles women.
Manhandles Pizzazz.
Pizzazz isn't nice, but don't grab and shove her.
And let's not forget, on the way out, Pizzazz gives Lindsay like a nice like slap in the face, and Lindsay just has this wonderful expression of like, "Did you really just do that to me?"
Yeah, she looks pissed. Like, I'm not in a way I've ever seen someone look at Pizzazz, because again, inviting Pizzazz's wrath upon you is like inviting the devil into your house.
Maybe that's just, I think Lindsay took the right route where she just had like a very scorn-filled look at Pizzazz compared to, you know, Jerica, who can't keep her goddamn mouth shut.
Yeah.
Who calls them trash.
Yeah, who called them trash after she met them.
And obviously, like, Lindsay must have had some respect for the Misfits or something, because she had said, like, "Hey, you were going to get your own interview. You know, you didn't have to come crash this one." And yeah, on their way out, Pizzazz is like, "Hey, if you ever get tired of Jem, why not come to me, Rio?" Which is, I don't know why Pizzazz would do that.
Also, Rio's first thing out of his mouth should be, "I'm not dating Jem, I'm dating Jerica," but of course, Purple Man doesn't think to say that.
No, he does not, and that gives him an elbow to the stomach for his troubles from Pizzazz, which makes him stumble back into God knows what.
He knocks into 500 things like he's inside a goddamn pinball machine.
The studio turns into a fucking game of dominoes, and everything gets knocked over, and they still haven't come back from commercial yet, I don't think. So Jem
so they're
might
not
die.
going to.
No, yeah, Jem might die in the middle of commercial, by the way. That's just basically how this is going to turn out.
My last notes for this episode are, Rio, how do you fuck up so bad? I don't want to watch the show anymore.
Which is a lie, because you do.
Yeah, I do.
God help me, I do.
We already started this podcast.
Well, true. Yeah, can't stop now. You gotta relive all the terrible Rio.
Ugh.
And yeah, so that's it. Just the lights look like they're gonna fall on Jem, and we get the big ol' to be continued, and that's it. That was Kimber's rebellion.
Kimber's 2-minute rebellion.
A rebellion that lasted quite literally 2 minutes.
The instant rice of rebellion.
Wow, that's a deep cut. Jesus.
Yeah. I'm full of them.
I'm still convinced that it was Ashley's rebellion, but you know nobody gives a shit about her, so Kimber gets the limelight.
She's not a main
instead.
character.
Kimber got the
Orphans.
limelight. What about the orphans, Kimber? Come on.
I'm an orphan too.
Well, now you are. You weren't.
I am now. She doesn't have a sister either. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, that's Jerica.
But yeah, that's there we go. That was a big old pot calling the kettle black situation of Kimber stealing the limelight from the orphans. Goddamn you, Kimber.
Yep.
And now we get to the section of the evening where I list off all the fun contact things you could do to contact the show or contact us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at CWTA Pod POD. You can follow me at Octopus AWKTAPUS.
You could follow me at FunnyGirlTM, like trademark. And Joe, before we wrap it up here on the contact part, we have an email this week, don't we?
Oh, I believe we do. Let me just bring that up real quick. Let me actually, because I remember what it is. I'm just gonna fake like I'm checking the email right here. Let me just
just pull it away the curtain.
Oh yeah, look at that. We have an
Keyboard
email.
noises.
Let me just.
That's how I check my email.
Check the email real quick. We have a nice email from one Kristen, host of this show, that says, "Fuck Rio."
That's a good name.
Oh. Wow. That's such a lovely question.
No, Joe, you're getting it wrong. The subject line is fuck Rio.
Oh, excuse me.
And
And
the body of the email is purple stubble.
Purple Stubble. Yes. Which I don't remember when that comes in, but Rio does have purple stubble at some point, and it is
Oh, it's
really
disgusting.
unnerving.
This Kristen, host of this show, has really just succinct opinions that match up with mine almost exactly.
Oh, really, really well. And yeah, so that was a good email. You could reach our email at cwtapod@gmail.com. And, feel free to tell us about your own 2-minute rebellion, or, when some big famous person stole your rebellion, or how much you hate Rio and his purple stubble, or, if some rebellion
Orphan
of your
labor
own.
and your experiences with it.
Orphan labor, Yeah, just send us an email that's an order for a pizza. We'll read it on the air. Go, whatever.
Or send us pizza.
Oh.
Send us pizza. So yeah, send us pizza. You can send it to iTunes or SoundCloud, and maybe Stitcher Radio if we figure that out too, because that's where you can just leave us a pizza in the rating and give us a review. Give us
Like,
a review
comment,
of
subscribe.
pizza. Like, comment, and subscribe. Just mash that like button, and we'll do some subscriber only raffles.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
during our next Twitch stream, which isn't going to happen.
I'm doing awesome cartoons done quick.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. No, we're gonna watch this really fast.
Or we'd watch everything on double speed
Yeah.
and just scream.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the world record,
Take a shot every time Rio does something fast.
and we die. We're dead. That's it. It's over.
Yep.
But hopefully we'll be alive for the next episode, which is Frame Up. And what's gonna happen? Will Zippo return from Paris to make more people nervous? What's the end game of Ashley? Rebelling. What's she doing with the Misfits? What's going on there? Is somebody gonna get framed for something? Probably, because it's called Frame Up.
Oh, they haven't watched the episode yet, Joe. Slow down.
No, no, I know. Well, okay, yeah, I don't want to. Spoiler alert: you haven't watched the episode, but watch the episodes.
Podcast.
And with that, I'm gonna rebellion against the end of this podcast right now, and I'm gonna end it. And that's it for me.
Whoa. Big thank you for Madeline.
Oh, hi.
Oh,
for
well,
being on the podcast.
Hey, well, I
And
was
for
gonna
letting me
say
record in
that.
her living room.
I was
You were
gonna
gonna
say
end the
that.
podcast.
I was gonna.
Yeah,
I
say
was
it
gonna
now.
sign off.
It was going to be a rebellion against a rebellion in which continued to not stop the podcast.
I'm gonna
Oh man,
quit this
am I
podcast.
getting counter rebellion right now?
This is going too deep for me.
Okay, no, let's just keep it at
I'm getting dizzy.
one level of rebellion. I'm Joe.
I'm Kristen.
And I'm Madeline.
Thank you, Madeline. And join us next time where I will make peace with the podcast. Stop rebellioning, and we will talk.
We're
more
gonna fight
Gem.
now that Madeline's not going to be here.
Lots of fighting.